Keep Taysom Hill healthy. Joining BYU Sports Nation right now is the tight end for the Baltimore Ravens, aspiring BYU Sports Nation co-host and former BYU All-American Dennis Pitta. Dennis, welcome back to BYU Sports Nation.
Thanks, guys.
Hey,
good to be here.
Last time we talked, man, we were discussing your aspirations to take a more permanent role on this show, like taking over for Jerem, for example. How confident are you in a potential Pitta takeover?
Well, I mean, I'm obviously very confident. Number one, I'm loyal. And I think, as evidence today, Jerem's where? At Weeblos camp?
That is true.
I would never miss a show for some kind of scout camp. And I'm an Eagle Scout, okay? But, I mean, that's just going a little far.
Okay, so the loyalty is there. What about on-air performance? How sell yourself as an on-air personality, Dennis?
Well, I mean, if we're comparing my personality to Jerem's, I mean, it's a no-brainer. So, I don't know. I just feel like, Jerem's been dead weight for too long. You're the real star of this thing, Spencer.
Wow. Thank you, Dennis.
And I want to come on, and I just want to support you.
I appreciate that.
That's how I feel, Dennis. So we got the true band of brothers blood flowing through our veins. We just want to support the main guy of the show, the main face of Sports Nation. That's right.
Wow. Brian, it's good to hear your voice, by the way. We haven't talked in a while.
Yeah, you too, man. I only get to see you every so often. Miss seeing you and being around you guys, and we gotta
catch you on TV a lot. I'm watching BYU games. I see your face all the time.
I watch you too, man. Catching touchdown passes.
This is the bromance.
It's been a while.
Going back to 2009, Dennis Pitta with us on BYU Sports Nation. There is one stipulation to you potentially taking over, Dennis, and that is your smartphone situation. Have you upgraded from your cracked, broken iPhone 4 lately?
That was so 2 years ago. Okay. I did have a cracked iPhone 4 for some time, but I'm onto the iPhone 6. I even have the Plus.
Wow,
nice.
So a larger screen. Yeah, I mean it's nice to be able to see everything on the screen without cracks obstructing my view.
Okay, then I think you're okay. You qualify at least to put your name in the running. We're talking to Dennis Pitta. Let's talk football now and start with our Twitter question. Brian and I just gave our opinions on this. What's the most undervalued position on the BYU football team?
I mean, the most undervalued position, period, is always tight end. Nobody realizes how much the tight end does. I mean, we have to be an offensive lineman. We have to be a receiver. At times, we have to tell the quarterback what to do. So, I mean, if you're talking about a true value position, a guy that has to do it all, then you're looking at the tight end.
Okay, other than tight end, do you have any other opinion on this matter?
I mean, is there really any more value other than tight end?
He's serious, man. He's really serious. It sounds funny because, Dennis, you're talking about your own position. And you make some great points as far as what a tight end has to do, being a blocker and being able to catch the ball as well. So, Spencer, he is not playing around,
I agree.
He's serious.
You've got to line up. You've got to block guys in one moment, and then you're supposed to have super soft, smooth hands and make a great catch the other time. He brings up his own argument. That's why we asked the question. Okay, Dennis.
Listen, if you look back at a lot of the great offenses BYU have had, the tight end has always been a featured position. And so when you have good value at the tight end spot, you're going to be able to move the ball. And you're going to be able to run it. You're going to be able to throw it. It creates mismatches. And so I see a position that's extremely undervalued.
For BYU lately, the tight end has not been as prominent a role in the offense. Would you like to see it go back to the way it was run when you were playing tight end at BYU?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I think, like I said, I think that's when we've had our greatest successes. When we've had, great matchups at that tight end position, that inside receiver position. And so, hopefully we can, find some guys to step up and fill that role, because I think if you have a guy that can flex out and be a mismatch in the slot, and at the same time be able to come in and block linebackers and defensive ends. That's going to help the offense. That's going to help Taysom, certainly. So, hopefully they can find a guy that can do that.
Dennis, when you look at 2009, the team that we were a part of, you guys, we had a three-headed monster. You, obviously, we had Harvey at running back, and then we had Max. If you look at this year, you have Jamal at running back, you have Mitch Matthews at the receiver position, and then you have my man Taysom Hill. Do you think that having a three-headed monster like we had in 2009 can allow for the same type of success this year?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, when you have a guy on the outside like Mitch that can stretch a field and create mismatches, and then you've got obviously Taysom's abilities and Jamal in the backfield, it creates balance across the offense. And so, we can throw it, we can run it, we can do a variety of things, and that always puts stress on a defense. And, anytime you got a three-headed monster, a four-headed monster would be a little bit better. But anytime you got that, and you're balanced offensively, you're gonna have success.
Dennis Pitta, former BYU All-American, tight end for the Baltimore Ravens, with us on BYU Sports Nation. Dennis, Mitch Matthews was a freshman on that 2009 team, and he has come in here recently a couple of times and said that the feeling around the 2009 team is very similar to this year, where it's just we feel like we're going to have great success. What was the feeling like in 2009 before the season began?
Yeah, I mean, we were a confident group. We knew what we were capable of. We knew we had a lot of talent returning. And when you go into the season confident and know you have playmakers, everywhere on the field, it's a good feeling. And I think you get that sense from this team as well. With the senior quarterback in Taysom, anything's possible. And I think we all have high expectations for this group.
Dennis, let's talk about you and your future with football. What's going on with you today and your everyday life? What's your schedule like right now?
Well, my schedule right now is pretty good. I'm watching my 2-year-old child and, working out, rehabbing, doing that whole deal. We go back to training camp in a couple weeks here and get started for the season. Hopefully I will be on the field this year. It's still a little bit up in the air. I feel pretty good physically, but, I'm kind of at the whim of the doctors whether or not they will give me the go-ahead to play. So, hopefully it works out and I can be back out there.
How do you stay positive and optimistic after the 2 hip injuries?
It's tough. Spencer, you know me. I'm a positive guy.
Absolutely.
And, it's just something you got to deal with, You're always going to get a curveball thrown your way, and you just got to be able to handle it and, make the best out of the situation. And, I feel like I've done a pretty good job of that. But, it certainly had its challenges, and, I'm still kind of going through it. But, hopefully, I can come out on the positive end.
You know what I would do if I were you to stay positive? Just look at my Super Bowl ring. That's what I would do. That
helps,
me.
Brian. That does help.
Do you ever just wear it around some of the guys, like maybe Max, and just kind of flash it, like, hey, remember this? Or maybe Coach Mendenhall always shows, all his conference, rings, Mountain West rings, and you go, oh yeah, I got one of those too. But
no, you know what? I don't like to be too brash about it. I like to stay humble. I like to keep it locked up at home. But I'll show it to Max every now and then. He needs it.
Dennis Pitta with us on BYU Sports Nation, the tight end for the Baltimore Ravens, preparing for training camp, and what he hopes is a situation where he gets back on the field after another hip surgery. Dennis, let's go back to BYU football and looking at the schedule this year. I know that you're obviously busy paying attention to everything that's happening at the NFL level, but when you look at BYU's first 4 games, at Nebraska, Boise State at home, at UCLA, at Michigan, I mean, you played against Oklahoma and Florida State in that September of 2009. What would you tell BYU football to get ready for those big-time early season games?
Yeah, I mean, it's a daunting, first 4 games out of the gate. And, for them, they just got to understand they're a good football team and capable of playing with anybody. And, whether it's a Nebraska, Michigan, whoever it may be, go in confident and play your game and know you can compete with all those guys. And, really, I think the pressure's on those teams. Those are, big-time programs that certainly don't want to lose early on in the season. And so you go out and you play with nothing to lose. I remember when we went up against Oklahoma, they were, I think, 2 or 3 in the nation at the time, had a returning Heisman winner in Bradford. And, they had all the pressure. And we came out, we played loose, and we played well. And, put the pressure on them and came out the W. So I think that's what you have to do. You just got to, understand you're capable of playing, that caliber of football and just go out and do it.
Dennis Pitta with us on BYU Sports Nation. Dennis, always great to talk to you. Let's finish with this. Your style. You took some flack for your tight pants that you were wearing at BYU Media Day from Brian Keel and from some of your buddies. Now is your opportunity to defend yourself and your style.
Well, I mean, look through the sources. Brian Keel, I mean, I know you guys have him on the show all the time, but, I've never seen that guy out of a polo T-shirt. So, if we're really taking style tips from Brian Keel, we've taken a step back.
Hey, Dennis, man, you gotta just let them know that's a slim fit, man. I get
exactly.
I get. They don't understand fashion like we do, like we do, bro. You gotta understand that. So
thank you, Brian. I appreciate that because fashion these days it's about trim, it's about slim fits, and I mean Brian's out there in his baggy jeans and whatever else he wears. He wears a tight polo up top and then baggy jeans down low.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so much wrong with that outfit.
Yeah, it is.
I don't want to get started.
He almost makes me want to pray for him, and when I see like somebody with fashion sense like that, it's like I want to pray for him. Yeah.
I mean, it does make you feel bad for him.
It does, yeah.
Oh, always entertaining. When did you become the funny guy, Dennis? You owned Media Day. When did this happen? Is this something that we just never are you just now opening up the door to this?
Listen, I'm just trying to make a push to get on the show. All right. I have to be funnier than Jerem.
That's how you make it on. Just be funnier than Jerem.
That's right.
Oh, good stuff. Hey, Dennis, enjoy the rest of your time off before you hit training camp. We're all pulling for you, and we wish you the best of luck and a speedy recovery. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Dennis Pitta, tight end for the Baltimore Ravens and aspiring BYU Sports Nation co-host.
Good times. I like the loyalty that he brought up.